So the question is, my landlord refuses to fix a window in my apartment that makes my apartment extremely cold and I pay for heat. If I report the landlord to the city, where would I live? Firstly, I'm sorry to hear that you're experiencing this with your landlord and that your apartment is cold. I do have a couple of sort of clarifying comments on this particular situation, right? So if the window is broken, right, if the glass is broken, if it doesn't open, if it doesn't close, those would be issues that the landlord would have to resolve. They're obligated to resolve those issues. If it's just the window is not well insulated to the cold outside, that's a little bit more of a gray area. The landlord's not legally responsible for making sure that the window is high quality, and I doubt that the city would issue a violation for that as well. And you see these ratings on buildings in New York. Is this an energy efficiency A building, B, C, D? And that means how well insulated is the building. For example, my building has really poor heat insulation, so I pay a lot on heat as well. But basically, what you would be asking is for the landlord to replace the windows, which is something they don't have to do and very likely wouldn't do because that's a huge project. Building permits, scaffolding, costs, all of that. So it just depends on what exactly is wrong with your window, and that will determine, what the city will say about it. Your comment about being asked to leave if you report the landlord, this is an interesting point. So if you have a rent stabilized apartment, your landlord cannot ask you to leave. They cannot retaliate against you for filing a complaint with 311. They can't retaliate against you even if you didn't have a rent stabilized apartment, but of course this does happen in some instances. But if you're rent stabilized, you should feel a little bit more confident about involving the city. The landlord cannot ask you to leave. They have to renew your lease every single year. They cannot increase the rent as to whatever they want. So you do have a bit of a stronger position. If you have a market rate apartment, the landlord does not have to renew your lease every single year. They can increase the rent to whatever they want. So that's where you may feel the retaliation if, they get angry about you involving the city. But some practical advice from me, I would reach out to the landlord again about this issue, explicitly say, what the problem is, what you want to be resolved, and tell them, hey, I really don't want to involve the city. I'd love to figure this out between the two of us. Please let me know, what you think. You could also propose fixing the issue yourself out of pocket and then deducting that cost from your future rent payments. But you need to get sign off on the landlord from the landlord. They need to agree to it. But it might be, an easier pathway to getting the issues fixed. And that doesn't just apply to window issues, but, any maintenance issues that you're having trouble getting addressed. But I hope this helps and good luck.